My journey began as the plane descended over the Kathmandu Valley, a patchwork of green and brown, ancient temples and distant peaks. The air inside the cabin was thick with anticipation. Stepping out of the airport, I was hit by a wave of warm air, thick with incense, dust and spices. The city was alive. Car horns, voices in a language I didn't know, and vibrant colours everywhere. I found a taxi to Tamil, weaving through narrow streets crowded with people, bicycles and cows. Brightly painted shopfronts, women in saris and prayer flags fluttered in the breeze. The city felt like a living museum, past and present dancing together. That first night, I lay in my hotel room, listening to the distant barking of dogs and the hum of the city below. I felt far from home, but not alone. There was a sense of connection to something bigger than myself. Here, in Kathmandu, I felt the pulse of humanity. I knew this journey would be more than a holiday. It was a step into a new culture, and maybe into my own heart. The city's energy was overwhelming, but it awakened a sense of wonder in me. I was ready to explore, to learn, and to be changed. Kathmandu was the beginning of a story I'd waited my whole life to write. I closed my eyes, letting the city's sounds lull me to sleep. Tomorrow, the adventure would truly begin, and I couldn't wait. After days in Kathmandu, the mountains called to me. The Himalayas, snowy peaks, ancient and immense. I arranged a trek with Pasang, a kind local guide. We weren't climbing summits, just walking among giants. Leaving the city's chaos, I packed light and boarded a bus out of the valley. The ride was bumpy, but every turn revealed jade rivers and quiet villages. Children waved as we passed, their smiles a simple joy. The landscape grew steeper, wilder. At Nayapul, our trek began. Boots on dusty trail, I felt free. The air was cool, scented with pine and earth. Only footsteps, birdsong, and the river's roar filled the silence. Pasang pointed out plants, shared stories of mountain spirits. Each step was a meditation. Left, right, breathe in, breathe out. The world below faded. Worries shrank in the shadow of the peaks. The mountains put everything in perspective. I was present, alive, content. This was more than a walk. It was a lesson in humility. The Himalayas were both powerful and peaceful, and I was exactly where I needed to be. After 2 days of trekking, we reached Gandruk, a village clinging to the mountainside, stone houses shining in the sun. The view was staggering. Annapurna South and Mashapuchare towering above. Our guest house was simple, but the window framed the most breathtaking scene I'd ever seen. The air was still, broken only by chickens clucking and children's laughter. Peace seeped into my soul. I wandered the village, greeted by warm namastes from everyone I passed. Women in traditional dress carried baskets. Old men basked in the sun. I felt like a guest, not a tourist, welcomed into their world. As evening fell, mist rolled down, lights twinkled, and the smell of wood smoke filled the air. I sat on the terrace, wrapped in a blanket, watching stars appear in the clear mountain sky. Contentment settled over me. Gandruk felt like a sanctuary, simple, beautiful, and peaceful. It was a world away from everything I'd known. Here, life moved at a different pace. I realized how much I craved this kind of stillness. In Gandruk, I found a sense of belonging. At sunrise, I wandered Gandruk's narrow paths and found an old woman weaving on her porch. Her hands moved with practiced grace, creating vibrant patterns, reds, yellows, blues. She was absorbed in her work, her face lined with stories. When she noticed me, she smiled and gestured for me to come closer. I sat beside her, language a barrier but not connection. She pointed from the threads to the mountains, showing me how her weaving mirrored the world around her. The blue of the sky, the green of the hills, the white of the snow, all woven into her cloth. She touched the fabric, then her heart. This was her story. We sat in comfortable silence, the loom's rhythm soothing. I felt a powerful connection, no words needed. Her craft was more than work. It was culture, history, and soul. She wasn't just making something to sell. She was weaving her life into every thread. In that quiet moment, something inside me shifted. I saw beauty in her dignity and pride. The encounter was simple but profound. It was a reminder of our shared humanity, and it changed me. The woman invited me inside for a meal, a gesture of pure generosity. Her home was humble, but filled with warmth. She cooked with care, filling the air with the scent of garlic, ginger, and spices. We shared dal bhat, lentils, rice, curried vegetables, eating with our hands, laughing at my clumsy attempts. She taught me words in her language, and we built a bridge with smiles and laughter. The food was simple, but the act of sharing made it unforgettable. In that smoky room, two strangers became friends. I realized connection doesn't need words or grand gestures. It's found in a shared meal, a kind look, a moment of openness. I felt more connected than I had in a long time. This was the true taste of travel. It was humbling, and it filled me with gratitude. After our meal, we returned to the porch. I watched her weave, mountains, rivers, birds, her world in every pattern. Each thread was a story, each colour a feeling. Her craft preserved history, passed down without words. I thought of my own life, busy, cluttered, always wanting more. She had little, but her life felt rich and full of meaning. Family, community, connection to the land, she had what mattered. Her contentment was a lesson. Happiness isn't about having more, but appreciating the simple things. The warmth of the sun, a good meal creating with your hands. Connection to people, to nature, to culture was her wealth. I admired her strength and quiet wisdom. She showed me the beauty of a simple, intentional life. I wanted to bring that simplicity home, to focus on what truly matters, to weave my own life with meaning and joy. It was time to leave. I tried to pay for the meal, but she refused. Her gift was kindness, not for sale. We exchanged namaste, eyes meeting in gratitude. As I walked away, I kept looking back, her figure at the loom growing smaller. The experience felt huge inside me, a seed of new understanding. The mountains were no longer just scenery. They reflected my changing perspective. I'd come seeking adventure, but the real journey was within. The weaver made me question my values. Was success really about more or about meaning? I saw new ways to measure a life community, kindness, connection. This was the turning point of my trip. It wasn't dramatic, but a gentle unfolding of understanding. My worldview had been narrow. She opened a door. She showed me a richer, simpler way of being. I knew I'd never see the world the same way again, and I was grateful. The rest of my trek felt lighter, every view more beautiful. I noticed small details, the light through leaves, the sound of prayer flags in the wind. Gratitude filled me for the mountains, the people, and the lessons learned. Back in Kathmandu, the chaos felt vibrant, not overwhelming. I saw connections everywhere, in greetings, in laughter, in daily life. Beneath our differences, we all seek meaning and connection. Leaving Nepal was hard. As my plane took off, I thought of the woman weaving in Gandruk. I promised to carry her lesson with me: simplicity, kindness, connection. This journey changed me, stripping away assumptions and filling me with humility. The real souvenirs were the changes within. New perspectives would shape who I became. Nepal had given me more than memories. It had transformed me. Travel changes us. It challenges our beliefs and opens our minds. Nepal reminded me that the world is a classroom, and its people are our teachers. We learn most when we step outside the familiar. You don't need to climb mountains. Just go with an open heart. Listen, learn, and let yourself be changed. See the world as a student of life, not just a tourist. Look for humanity in everyone you meet. Embrace the unknown. That's where growth happens. Let your travels be a journey of the heart. Find your own Gandruk, your own moment of connection. The world is waiting to share its wisdom. All you have to do is take the first step. You won't return the same.